Okay, we're looking here at the slope of a straight line, and here you can see a nicely drawn, clean, straight line, and we want to determine its slope or its steepness. And in order to do that, we need to apply a formula that we've already learned. And that formula says that the slope, which is always a in the y equals ax plus b equation, will always be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now, in order to plug in x's and y's, whether you, in order to be able to do that, you need to know what they are. And so you can see here I have two nicely drawn coordinates or points, and that's where my x's and my y's are going to come from. So I have to make sure I know where those points are. And it doesn't matter which one I call P1 and which one I call P2. I'm going to call this one P1 just because that's the one I saw first. And so here's my origin. You're going to see that in order to name this point, like we did in a previous exercise, I'm going to consider the x value first. I went to the right 2, so that's positive 2 for the x, and then I went up 1, so that's a positive 1 for the y. On this point over here, I still went positive for the x. I went to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, so positive 4 for my x, but then I had to go down to get to it for the y value. I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's a negative 4 for the y value. Now that I've done that, I have to label these two sets of points, and I'm just going to rewrite them over here for clarity purposes. I'm going to call this one my x1, y1, and I'm going to call the second one, this one over here, which is 4, negative 4, I'm going to call that x2, y2. So once I've got my 2 points labeled, it's really easy to apply the slope formula. I'm going to say A equals, now, y2 minus y1. So my y2 is over here, it's negative 4, and I'm going to subtract y1. Make sure that you don't mix your x's with your y's in this formula. Okay, so you have to make sure you know you're dealing with the y's first of all, and you have to know that that y2 is the first one in the formula. So once I've labeled this x1, y1, and x2, y2, I have to stick with that labeling. So y2, negative 4, minus 1, and then I'm going to divide that by x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is 2. So when I do that, I'm going to get negative 4 minus another one is negative 5 over 4 minus 2, which is 2. Now you can leave your slope fractional if you like. Nothing wrong with that. Fractions can be pretty useful, in fact, at times, but a lot of us prefer just to get things nice and clean into decimal form, and so there's nothing wrong with doing that calculation if you wish to. So we're going to go negative 5 and divide that by 2. Hit that equals, and you'll see that you get negative 2.5 for my slope. So that measures the steepness of that particular line, and what's key to notice is that if you didn't get a negative value, you should have known that you were going to get one, because that line is sloping downwards, right? Remember, these are positive slopes and these are negative slopes. So if you had made a calculation error in here and somehow forgot that you had a negative in front of that 5, just the line itself is a good reminder to you.